Okay, so I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag. I don't usually say like bitches all the time when I talk. And if I talk about women, it's not really my lingo or anything like that. But recently I have been, because there's like some things going on today that is way more important to get a move on, as far as like it's more important to recognize certain people in society that are a precedent for no good, or fertile grounds for some fuckery. We already know, and instead of protecting their jobs and shit like that, we should be dumping our girlfriends. You know what I mean? Because there's not enough cool little bitches that are down for no real cause. Then we think about like, oh, I need a time or something, like you need to wake up next to one of them, or you need to be like not lonely or anything like that. But you really just need is to not be chicken shit. You know what I mean? Because we're still going to go around acting, and we're still going to push medical tyranny, and we're still going to propagandize, and we're still full of shit, basically. Then nobody really deserves no fine ass little bitches or anything like that. There are animal abuse, like little beagles that are trained to be, or bred to be, more docile and trust humans more, and we extenuate their suffering and study their pathology, and all they ever know is a cage and a lab coat. You know what I mean? A lab coat doctor in their cage before they suffer their prolonged or protracted suffering death. You know what I mean? And then there's also people that hold something out over the rest of us, being that it's tragic when a little kid doesn't get to have their first kiss, or go to a prom, or drive a car, and all this kind of stuff, right? But even there are little fucking witches that know that they can harness the energy from fuck babies, and all they ever know in their life is blood and shit. And you can hold that over everybody else. And so is everybody else thinking that they're glorious, and oh my God, it's so cool. There's the Pope. There goes so-and-so. There goes this and that. You know what I mean? And they all had to go brownstone or honeypot or something like this. Then it doesn't really matter if nobody likes you. It doesn't really matter as long as you're not, let me say, getting down with the bullshit. But you're still gonna be aggravated. There's still gonna be people who's irritating as fuck. And you're gonna be like, you're down with the bullshit, and they're gonna be like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and get the fuck out. Then I don't need to know you. I really don't need to know. I don't need to know you. I don't need your validation. You know what I mean? You just want to be so fucking cool. And then fuck all that shit. Stop trying to be so fucking cool. Anyways, because it ain't even a good look now anymore. There is no cool little bitches that are on any shit. Their head is not on no real shit. And it's better off just to, leaving them alone is a fucking great thing. Like, it's St. John was a real advocate of leaving bitches the fuck alone if you're not trying to marry them and shit. If they're not worth marrying them, like, don't even touch it. Don't even go near it. Don't go near it. They could be cool as fuck, and you can fucking like them too. They could be like, oh, you're cool. Like, oh, it's so fucking what? A lot of them are they really have a love-hate relationship with the orange Dorito bad man. So as much as they hate him, they love him, they need him, but they're never about shit, and neither is he. Trump ain't about shit either. You know what I mean? What's Trump doing right now? Selling vaccine and shit. He's like a big overgrown baby. Like he's like a baby Huey. You know what I mean? And I always supported him. I always supported him when everybody else hated him. You know what I mean? But I don't love that nigga as much as they love him. You know what I mean? I don't love that nigga as much as everybody that hates him loves him, and they all look at me like, "Oh, you must be you're a Trump supporter," and I don't want to see that nigga get elected. But I'm still considered a Trump supporter, but I would not vote for that motherfucker right now. You know, I mean, I wanted to see a calm, collective businessman with a intelligent, like a refrain that can solve problems and get people focused on what we need to be focused on, being productive and shit. We can't be focused on being productive with all this fucking bullshit reasons that we have to be afraid and we have to be so goddamn scared. Oh my God. And then all these cool little bitches are going around reinforcing the fear camp. Do you know that they like alpha men? You wouldn't believe it because they're trying to turn everybody into a beta. That's why they're no good right now. And they should probably get dumped. You should probably dump them. Even if I'm ugly and I got to deal with it, you still know that you should probably dump your cool little bitches right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't see any ones that's worth it right now. I see a lot of cool little bitches that I like, that are cool, that are interesting, or they're personality wise. They're not dumb, you know. They're not worthless. They just right now, they just ain't about shit right now, and they just, you know, should come back online. Like, shit, what's wrong with it? What's so hard about that shit? Like I just flipped on a light switch. You could just come back online. You know what I mean? You know, like even babies are tough and shit. They be falling hard and play and shit. They're getting bumps, lumps on the head and everything, and they just cry for a minute, and then they figure out how to cope, I guess.